Hi, I'm Erin. Farmers market season has started here on the ranch. Every Saturday you can find us in town at our local market, but that does not mean that the work in the gardens is done. In fact, there's way more work to do than there is time, and today is about the juggle of time and priorities, and winter planting is already in the works on Our Wyoming Life. We've got 2 successful farmers markets under our belts so far this summer. By the time this video comes out, I'll be knee-deep in prep for our 3rd market. Sales at market have been great so far this year, and the gardens are starting to pump out a wider variety of produce every week. In about 2 to 3 weeks, we will really get going on the different amount of crops that we have, and we'll have tons of variety available for market. This time of year, things are a bit crazy here in the gardens. There's lots to do, and sometimes it's hard for me to decide what needs to be done first. There's weeds to pull, chard needs trimmed after receiving some hail damage, and the beets could probably use some thinning. But all of that can wait until next week. My seeds need to go in the ground today, and if we want multiple harvest of some crops, they need to go in the ground. Succession planting or multiple harvest is something that we work on improving every year. Short turnaround crops like lettuce and radishes are easy to reseed and harvest multiple times per growing season, but we struggle with always having to plant. See, when I was just a family garden for years, you just plant once and you're done. Market farming needs multiple plantings per year. It's not essential, but it does help our profit margin. And this year, with the hay situation here on the ranch, we need to squeeze as much profit out of the gardens as possible. Multiple plantings of lettuce and radishes is something that can be done in any garden very easily. If your lettuce has bolted or your radishes have gone to seed, just pull them out and put more in. Not only do we have more stuff that needs to go in the ground outside, but it's time to start planning for winter planting. Next week, the high tunnel needs the first winter planting to go in the ground. There's prep work to do to make that happen, but there's also seedlings that need to get started back in the basement. It's still so strange to be thinking about winter harvest when it's still July, but if we want winter gardening to be successful, this is when the work needs to happen. The first and easiest thing to tackle is putting more lettuce and radishes in the big garden. This area in the big garden was left open for succession planting. Ideally, it would have been planted 2 weeks ago, but that's where the time struggle is always a problem. There are some lovely weeds that have been growing here, of course. We shallow tilled with the BCS a couple weeks ago, and most of the weeds died. But rain, market, and more rain kept us from getting seeds in the ground. Head lettuce was transplanted just a few days ago, and it got pounded with rain and 60-mile-an-hour wind, so it doesn't look super great, but it should be fine in the long run. The Haas wheel hoe is the first tool that gets put to work today. There's some weeds that need to go. It's quick and easy to run the wheel hoe up and down the open plot. The oscillating hoe attachment is great for weeding. After that's done, there's still just a lot of drying weeds that need to be pulled out. A rake helps pull it to one side, and the weeds can go in a bucket and get out of the way. The Earthway seeder makes seeding radishes super fast and easy, and since this isn't a huge area that we're working in today, we can skip stringing and just eyeball a rows. Hopefully they turn out somewhat straight, but again, we're crunched for time and we just need to get it done. Radish seed goes in the seeder and up and down the plot we go until 3 rows of radishes are now planted and done. Radishes are a 29-day crop. The turnaround goes extremely fast this time of year. In just a few weeks, these guys will be ready to go to market. Lettuce and the seeder just don't seem to work in my opinion. An old-fashioned garden hoe still gets the job done. A shallow trench is dug and seed gets sprinkled in. A light covering of dirt comes next, and then we can cross succession planting of lettuce and radishes off the list. 45 days from now, lettuce will be ready to go to market. Since the wheel hoe is right here, we might as well run up and down the rows and work on eliminating some more weeds. This is the first season that we've had a wheel hoe, and after now using it for a couple of months, we wonder why we waited this long. The oscillating blade destroys weeds extremely fast. In just 10 or 15 minutes, all of the walkways can be cleared. Doing this every 10 days or so has kept the weeds much more manageable. If the weeds have gotten too big, they still need to be pulled by hand, but there's only a few and they can easily be pulled. Ideally, the ground would be just a little bit drier, but some extreme afternoon thunderstorms the last couple of weeks have kept the gardens pretty wet with minimal sprinkler watering. If we don't do it now, it'll be next week before we can get to it because of having to prep for market. Next on the list is starting seedlings for fall and winter harvest. It's back inside to the kitchen and out comes the black trays, plugs, dirt, and the mess. Lincoln is all about dirt, so he climbs on a chair so he can see and help me and eat his brownie that he was having for snack time. Broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage are planted in seed starting trays. It's as simple as adding damp seed starting mix to the trays, sprinkle the seeds in, and add a light layer of soil on top. Salanova lettuce is going to be a great fall and early winter harvest for us if we plant appropriately now. The plug trays that you guys have seen me use in the past are what the lettuce gets seeded into again. The process is the same as always, and you can look in the description for a link to a different video to see more detailed planting of the Salanova from before. Lincoln is a great helper for the first tray, and then it's nap time for him. He practically needs a bath after all the dirt and brownie that is somehow all over him. Grace helps with the second tray, and she does a great job with the whole process. And again, there's more dirt everywhere. I really do enjoy having the kids start helping me more and more with the market gardens. I can foresee that in just a few years, things like starting seeds can become their responsibility with just a little bit of supervision from me. Mackenzie could probably do it by herself now, but when I asked her if she wanted help, she said no, she didn't want to get dirty. I just don't think that she's gonna be my gardener. I might have to wait a few more years for Grace to get a little bit bigger, and I don't think that I will ever have to ask Lincoln twice to play in the dirt. I'm glad that the to-do list is a little bit shorter after today. Next week will still be a busy week. There's one section of the garden that is overrun with weeds and it desperately needs my attention. But winter planting must happen, and the high tunnel needs some soil amendments as well as tilling, and seeds need to go in the ground. Pigs are coming back to the ranch Sunday or Monday, and there's a road trip involved with getting them here. Grace has a birthday party next week, and after that, hopefully there's still one more outdoor planting of lettuce and radishes that can happen, and more Salanova needs seeded around mid-August for an even later harvest around November and maybe December, depending on how the weather goes this fall. I'm a little overwhelmed right now, but it's okay. We will get through it, and we will be at market every week, and we're always happy to be there. After all, that's what all the hard work is for. Mike has a new video coming for you on Sunday. Make sure that you're subscribed and that your bell notification is turned on so you don't miss it. You can like us on Instagram and Facebook if you're finding you're missing us in between videos here on YouTube. Thanks for watching as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary on Our Wyoming Life.